Hey guys, what's up? We're here at GOMTV.net, and this is the GSL Codex. I'm Tasteless, and with me is Artie McTosis. How you doing?
Me.
That's you.
Well, Tasteless. Doing pretty fantastically, I do have to say. This is the last day of the round of 8.
Yeah,
everything's heating up. The race to BlizzCon is coming to a close.
And by the way, the results for last week, pretty surprising.
Yeah, 2 days ago, in fact.
Yeah, excuse me, 2 days ago.
Very one-sided.
2 3-0s.
2 3-0s indeed.
But despite that, they were really good games.
Yeah.
I
was
was
not
a one-sided
disappointed.
series, but the games themselves are actually quite close. Deer and Trap, definitely worth a watch, especially Game 2 and 3.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that PvP series, and Sulky against Rain. I didn't really like the third game so much, but the first two I really was quite fond of.
Rain definitely made
I would be pen pals with the first two games.
I got to say, in game number 2 there, where Rain was about to kill Sulky, okay? He pushes through the entire army. All that's left are a few swarm hosts. He doesn't have 3 of the 4 observers with his army.
Yeah, it was kind of tough.
That was a little painful.
A little bit brutal, but...
But, I mean, what are you going to do? If you don't have it there, you don't deserve to win. And that was a very, very brutal 3-0.
Kind of. It was,
I wouldn't even say
sad to see. Best spread outs in the world versus best Zerg, and that's what happens. Guys, make sure you check out this Facebook event down below us for JOGUNSHOP. That is our sponsor here. It's important.
Absolutely. Without our sponsors, this show wouldn't be here, so definitely show some love and support to them. Now, today, this is the second half of the round of 8. After today, we will have the final 4 players of our tournament.
So sick. We get to see who goes up against Deer and against Sulky today. We have 4 great players playing today, of course. Now, we have a couple ex-champions, JakJi and Maru. Maru from last season, and then JakJi from many, many seasons ago, going at it. That's a kind of tough one to predict.
Out of all the matches that we have here today, that's the one I can't really... I have no idea what it's going to look like or who is going to win.
It's a very tough one, and I have to say the same actually for Sue versus Parting, because it's they're on the same team. And like for instance, 2 days ago, Deer versus Trap, that was actually a very good series, even though it was 3-0. Whereas a lot of the times when we have teammates play against each other, it's garb. A lot of the times it looks bad.
The reasoning behind that is that when your teammates, obviously you're playing together all the time, you're sharing the same living quarters, which means that you are actually talking to this player all the time about the game, the way they think the game operates, the best kind of builds, the current meta game, and they get to see each other practice all the time. Now, obviously before a big match like this, they will split the players up into separate parts of the training house so that they don't end up seeing each other. But look, man, they've been working together for a long time. So that small amount of time of that separation doesn't always help that much. There's going to be mind games going on in a team, a teammate versus teammate game that we might not even be able to identify for you guys, because we don't know what it's like. We don't know what it's like when when the entire team is practicing together.
All sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff for that can possibly occur. So we'll see on that match. The first match excites me a little bit more, though. These 2 great Terran players, the only 2 left here in the round of 8. One of them will go on. One of them might repeat. JakJi, he's someone everyone's looking at. They're like, I don't think he can do it. But that's what we were saying when he won his championship.
Yeah, that's very true.
Very good.
And outmaneuvered Innovation, man. It was actually an incredible play. Now, Maru is somebody who just recently became one of the best of the best. His last championship, I don't think anybody thought it was going to, let alone him winning, I don't think anybody thought it was going to be 4-0. That was incredible.
Well, yeah, 4-0ing Innovation is like insanity. It doesn't even make sense because Innovation's so good. And then to go on to beat Rain in the finals.
By the way, both these guys actually have knocked out Innovation in a significant match sometime recently. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Innovation killers.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to be a champion, is you have to beat the best.
Now, with these 2, again, I can't even make a prediction. It's actually... like 2 players that I would never expect to have here.
They're very aggressive players. Like, JakJi's so good in the early game, and then in TBT. And Maru plans out series so well. Like, I think you have to give an edge to Maru, but it could go either way.
Well, I feel like Maru is good with the planning. I feel like jjakji, especially in between early game and then into mid-game TBT, I'd say tactically he may even be better than Maru, even though Maru is one of the best players in these small engagements. Now our players are going to shake hands and go to their respective soundproof booths. And we will be beginning this match shortly.
Well,
a lot on the line here for both these guys, jjakji and Maru.
Round of 4 is a big difference from round of 8.
This is the last Code S of the year.
That's right.
The biggest
this is the last chance to get enough points to go to BlizzCon as well.
Oh, we got people from Austria and from Germany. And from out. Welcome to the studio, guys. By the way, entry is free.
And a lot of people in the studio today. A lot of foreigners came down to check this match out.
I'm looking at them right now.
Are you?
Yeah, they are. Now they're looking back at me.
Oh, God, they are looking back.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Occasionally, I do just take a glance back there.
Yeah.
Shoot a spitball or something when the games are going on. Oh, it's chaos.
Someone's going to get in the back of your neck, and they turn around, and they heard you do it on the mic.
I point at you.
It's like I was talking when it was launched. Like, I don't think so.
That's how good you are, Tosis.
No.
Now, we have jjakji here. This guy was, or I should say is, the forgotten champion of the GSL Code S. He won in a big upset a long time ago. Very surprising. And then, he kind of, I don't want to say fell off, but he was off the radar, I guess you could say.
We were talking before about Fallen Champion, him versus Seed, and how Seed is more memorable. Here's a question for you. Is jjakji more of a forgotten champion than Sniper?
Who? No, that's Sniper I guess would be the other
he's even, because when we were talking about it, I couldn't even remember that Sniper had won, and that was such a good finals too in Las Vegas and everything. So
yeah, I mean, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Well, that's more of a recent one though, whereas jjakji has been gone. I mean, we don't know, Sniper might be coming back here, so really cool to see these two guys playing here. This is like when you take two different chemical compounds and put them together to see how they react together.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the TBT generally is a long, drawn-out matchup, but it isn't normally with these players. And now that they're here together, what kind of mind games are we going to be seeing here? I think a lot of the early game is going to be more important than your average TBT with these two.
I want to see a lot of Banshee openings from these guys. I don't want to see any racks into command center type play. None of that.
We might have some of that. It's hard to say, but as you can see here, the win rates here in the early game, both these guys faring pretty well.
And
Maru especially there in the under 9-minute marker.
Well, Maru overall just kind of doing a better job so far, or recently at least. jjakji, not as many games on here just because he hasn't been around.
jjakji is a really smart player. And him being, I guess, I don't want to say the dark horse, but him being back, like in WWE where everybody thinks their wrestler's dead and then he comes out of the bottom of the ring.
Yeah, Paul Bearer takes the urn and revives the Undertaker once again to take out Yokozuna finally. Thank God.
Thank God.
That's what happens, man.
I feel like that's what jjakji is right here. Our map lineup is going to be Polar Knight, Frost, Yunsu, Belshir, Vestige, and if we get there, Whirlwind.
This is going to be a really cool map set, actually. I really like that we have these 3 newer maps in the front for these kind of aggressive Terran players to play on. And then kind of wrapping it up with our 2 super old maps.
Yeah. We've had a lot of new maps here this season, by the way, which has led to some very interesting games. On Polar Knight, what do you expect to see on this, Artosis?
Polar Knight, man. Well, a lot of aggression. Definitely Banshees, I would say, as well. It's just there's too much surface area in your main base.
I like your point there. Also, keep in mind, there's not a lot of Terrans left, guys.
That's it. These 2.
Yeah. So whatever their best TBT builds are, we're going to see that right here.
Yeah.
They're not having to mask something because there's another Terran, another 2 Terrans they might have to face later on.
No, exactly. If we took a poll in this game, a sample of this set, you'd think the whole top 8 is Terrans. But in fact, these are the only 2.
Yeah.
So that sample would not be sufficiently sized, nor sufficiently randomized cases.
And it does look like our map is now loaded up. Again, we are in the second half here of the round of 8. This is a best of 5 between JOGUNSHOP and Maru. The winner will be our third player to go on to the round of 4 in this year's final GSL Code S here at GOMTV.net.
I'm excited by the way my heart is beating. I'm gonna need a riot squad to help control my breathing. Communicating with bases like I can hear it speaking.
Over here in the north, a GSL Code S champion. He is
My Insanity JAKJI.
And his opponent, the champion of the Star League Season 2. He is
Maru Prime.
We were talking about this before we started, about 25 minutes ago from now. We were just backstage, and we could not believe how little Maru is in person.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously he's very young.
Still,
yeah. But you sometimes tend to forget it when you're just watching his play style, or you just get a...
Well, he's a giant on the battlefield of Starcraft,
he
too.
Is. By the way, we have a quick gas here for our Maru.
From both players, in fact.
Oh, so for both players as well. I'm sorry.
Odds are that we're going to probably see Banshees out of these guys. There can be some other builds like quick drops and whatnot too, but it just makes sense for this map. There's so many places you can fly in with your Banshees that it's just like it's a good opener taste.
Out of all the
especially when you're aggressive like these guys.
Yeah, out of all the starting locations you can get on different maps, what Artos is pointing out is that there's basically 360 degrees of entry points from air here to your base, which really makes it hard to predict where they could come in from, which makes an air assault early on really strong. A lot of times, let's say you're both sharing the top on Whirlwind, somebody can just burrow a Widow Mine at the upper corner on Whirlwind, and a lot of times the Banshee will just fly in there and die.
That is exactly the case. Here, though, where do you put that Widow Mine? That's going to be a big guess. Now, both players have actually scouted rather quickly, and they see that they're doing mirror builds. So things start changing here. Mirror matchups in StarCraft 2 right now. Anything you scout normally is going to change a little bit. There's a lot of mind games involved where you try to trick each other out.
Yeah, very true. Especially important with these two players. Now, here's a question. Maru does cheese. Well, this is a statement followed by a question. Maru does cheese a good amount in TVT. How many games do you think he might cheese here?
Ooh,
because I think there's
so
a possibility that he
you're talking
won't
like
cheese.
all ins.
Yeah, all ins. Yeah.
You know what? I think that if he planned this series perfectly, all ins aren't the way to go against JOGUNSHOP.
I agree.
I think that JOGUNSHOP has really great control in the early game, and JOGUNSHOP is someone that doesn't want to go late game against Maru. So Maru should still play an aggressive style, probably, because he's best at that, but do it into command centers and stuff, you know, like be able to have your units, micro around with them, mix it up a little bit, but I don't want to see any all-ins out of Maru if he's going to win this.
I actually agree. I don't think we're going to have all-ins from him. But you never know. We might have to see how the first game or two go here. Sometimes if somebody's up 2-0 or down 0-2, we start to see pretty different strategies being used.
Well, right now we have Cloak Banshee on the way for Maru, whereas JOGUNSHOP looks like he's going for a 2 Widow Mine with 6 Marines and a Medevac. Now, of course, if these mines get good hits, this is pretty fantastic, but will he be able to do that? Because currently at home, you know, Maru is setting up some defense as well. He's expecting probably a Banshee to come in. You know,
the Medevac's been boosted over there, and he's going to make a beeline to the base because there's nothing for Maru occupying the Xel'Naga Watchtower.
Well, here we go, Tasteless. This is coming in. It hasn't been scouted quite yet. A really well-placed Widow Mine. Oh, boy. Oh, you're in trouble. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That's about as... Sorry, JOGUNSHOP.
It's hard to emphasize just how behind JOGUNSHOP is now. Everything he has invested in was killed, did 0 damage. He's not on 2 bases, and now this Banshee's going to come in. If this Banshee does not get it quick, okay,
good hit.
Yep,
so
I thought that might be just barely out of range of the Widow Mine.
A bit of an equalizer, but the Banshee's still alive, can still do damage.
Yes, and of course with Cloak now he can bait out scans so that they can be used instead of mules.
We don't really see a lot of Marines, though.
Specific unit here. Yeah, that's very true, Artos. Those Marines were killed off. Most of them in that drop over there. Now we have a... Okay, I was about to say I don't know why he would send that out, but there was a Raven moving out on the map, probably just a bad rally, now going back to the base.
Yeah, I think you're completely right on that. And he is making a tank and a Banshee, both players grabbing command centers from here. So it's kind of stabilizing, but I do want to give like a little bit of a lead here, certainly to Maru. Because although he did lose that cloaked Banshee, you know, the cloak is still going to come in somewhat useful. He took 0 damage, whereas he did kill a couple SCVs and force a scan. So I kind of like his position a little bit more here. Nice little Widow Mine placement there. Going to force another scan. And, you know, this is...
You know, so far, this game is looking pretty much like what you would expect out of these two.
For sure.
Not heavily focused on economics. Instead, it's a lot more of engaging, harassing.
Mixing it up.
Oh, nice.
That was a really good flank.
And he will get that.
Nope.
What? Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay. And now it's going to be taken out. Very anticlimactic there. The command center is going to be put here onto the low ground. In fact, both these players expanding at about the same time. Actually, exactly the same time. It does look like Maru is interested in pushing out here. He does have the Raven. As well as the Banshee and these Marines in the siege tank. And don't forget that JOGUNSHOP lost a lot in that drop early on.
He did. You know, the lack of the medevac and the 6 Marines. The 6 Marines would have helped a lot. I'm not sure exactly how much damage this is going to do. It looks like he's going to perhaps walk around to the back and just deny scouting for now. Yes, in fact, maybe. Well, we'll see exactly where he wants to go with this. There is that ramp there. Looks like he hasn't quite decided yet. And there you go. He is going to go up this ramp. In the meantime, a drop from JOGUNSHOP coming up. That could do a lot of damage with all these units not at home.
Oh, nice. Now using these auto turrets here to bait out shots.
Very nice
from
spread.
The siege tanks. And actually, there was only not a full amount of Marines inside there. Now pushing inside the bunker, Now pushing up here. Now the SCVs here of Maru attacking these Marines and now evacuating over to the second base. Meanwhile, it looks like Maru is going to barrel here into the main.
Oh my god, Maru going right up that ramp. In the meantime, JOGUNSHOP has killed off a lot of SCVs over here. Not quite as many as his opponent. And it looks
the medevac goes down!
Oh my god, really big move there. And the SCV's coming out now. JOGUNSHOP in trouble once again.
I think Maru wins.
He's lost too many. There's down to 7 SCVs.
Shoots down the Banshee too. Or the Viking too, excuse me. Yeah, that should be it. Expect GG here.
Yeah,
short and sweet, but that's what you're going to get with players like Maru and JOGUNSHOP.
Really well done, I have to say. Some cute micro going down by JOGUNSHOP, warming up his fingers still, but he knows he's done. GG!
GG, wow. Wowzers.
Very nicely done. Maru showing a lot of strength there, Tasteless. I love the spread and all. You know, so much of that does come down to the first medevac drop doing absolutely nothing because he lost a lot of Marines. If he had 5-6 more Marines at home, that definitely would have made that engagement easier for him. You know, he had 2 tanks in siege mode and a bunker, but he just didn't have a lot of Marines as buffer.
Now, we just saw Gerard grabbing the shoulder of Maru in there a few seconds ago. Gerard, the coach of the Prime team. And I got to say, probably one of the best coaches out there.
Well, it seems like he does a good job for his players, huh? Prime always has some top guys.
Prime's always got a few players out there on the front.
Every time I think of Gerard giving advice, I just think of he was a pro gamer before. He was a Warcraft 3 guy, and then he was
a lot in Starcraft 2, right?
Yeah, he was like really active as a pro during like the beta and stuff, and he would just Baneling all in every single game, no matter what. And it was like actually to the point of hilarity when you hit him on the ladder. And I just, for some reason, I always think of that.
You used to make this joke that Gerard would go in there and be like, Marinky, you got to make more Banelings. And he's like, I'm Terran. He's like, no, it's just, was he walled near the entrance? He's like, well, yeah. But he's like, well, make Banelings and just kill him.
Yeah. But no, obviously, as an ex-pro, definitely knows how to comfort players. Like that touch on the shoulder there. That's what I do to Tasteless. If he's casting while I go like this, his shoulder, and he's just cast even better.
There you go, man. You're like the horse whisperer or something,
Yes.
the caster whisperer.
The tasteless whisperer.
You throw the blanket over my shoulder and walk 45 degrees to my blind spot, and then I cast well. We're going to go into game number 2 now here between JOGUNSHOP and Maru here. The winner goes on to the round of 4. It is that much closer to being the champion here of the GSL Code S. In the bottom right,